Tonight, the floor crossing fallout on Parliament Hill. Matt Jeneroux's political pivot from saying he'll leave politics entirely, then joining the Liberals.
Matt brings a wealth of experience.
Pierre Poilievre's response, what it means for him and the party. Social media giants under scrutiny.
Mr. Zuckerberg, did Meta purposely design the platform to harm children?
Plus, how young Canadians are pushing back against online bullying. And on the verge of a massive upset, how the men's hockey team dodged disaster. Plus, CTV News checks in on the dynamic doctor duo behind Canada's performance.
We've been leaning on each other for questions and issues and bouncing things off each other.
CTV National News with Omar Sachedina.
Good evening. Mark Carney's minority government is just 3 seats shy of a majority tonight after another Conservative defection today. Alberta MP Matt Jeneroux became the latest to cross the floor to join the Liberals. He also becomes a special advisor on economic and security partnerships. That follows the decision by Ontario's Michael Ma to do the same back in December, and Nova Scotia's Chris d'Entremont the month before that. CTV senior political correspondent Michael Couture with reaction from both parties and from voters in Jeneroux's Edmonton riding.
Matt brings a wealth of experience.
Prime Minister Mark Carney praising his newly poached MP. Matt Jeneroux says his decision to leave the Conservatives was more about the team he was joining.
Quite simply couldn't sit on the sidelines after seeing what the Prime Minister was, the ambitious agenda he was undertaking.
In November, Jeneroux said he was leaving politics to spend more time with his family. But the Alberta MP says it was Carney's speech at Davos that convinced him to change his mind.
I think it opened a lot of eyes for Canadians, Albertans, Edmontonians, just how serious this national unity crisis truly is.
A Conservative leader, Pierre Poilievre, responded on social media, calling the floor crossing a betrayal of the people in Jeneroux's riding who voted for affordable food and homes, safe streets, and a strong resource sector. And some believe Jeneroux could suffer the consequences of his decision in the next federal election.
They voted for a Conservative member of Parliament to represent their Conservative values, and that's not what they're getting.
In Jeneroux's riding, reaction was mixed.
I was delighted, absolutely delighted.
I think he should go away. Like, the man's a coward, he's a liar.
But Poilievre could feel the effects first. Jeneroux is the 3rd MP he's lost to the Liberals in the last 4 months. While polls have the Liberals and Conservatives in a dead heat, Carney has a 29-point lead when it comes to preferred Prime Minister.
When some caucus members leave to cross the floor to join the Liberals, that's their own vote of what I'll say discontent with Pierre Poilievre as a leader and as a potential Prime Minister.
Now, this latest floor crosser leaves the Liberals 3 seats shy of a majority. 2 of the upcoming by-elections are in Liberal strongholds, and 1 is a riding they won by just a single vote. So Prime Minister Carney could get a majority government without holding a general election. Omar.
All right, Mike, thank you. CTV's chief political correspondent Vashi Kapelis joins me now. Vashi, as Mike just mentioned, first Jeneroux says he's leaving politics, then he says he's staying but joining the other team. What kind of political carrot do the Liberals have to dangle to get him on board? And if it is this special advisor role, what does that role actually entail?
It's a great question and a bit of a head scratcher. I do know for certain that the role is not paid, so that's something to take away. But in general, I've been covering Matt Jeneroux since I was working in Edmonton when he was a provincial MLA. He was very focused on men's mental health and leave for people who are caring for those in their family who are sick. I never really heard him talk extensively about trade or economic security. So I think it does raise questions about what exactly was promised. But at the same time, I am aware of so many conversations between Liberal MPs and people in the Prime Minister's office since November with Matt Jeneroux to get him to change his mind. So I think this is also about those efforts materializing. As far as opposition reaction is concerned, the opposition leader not mincing his words today, saying Jeneroux betrayed his constituents, his words. Even though Poilievre overwhelmingly passed his leadership review last month, what kind of impact does having yet another member of your caucus leave have? His leadership is in big trouble. There's no other way to look at it, Omar. I mean, 3 MPs in 3 months says something. And so far, his answer has pretty much been the same, to blame the MPs who are leaving and call it a betrayal.
And Vashi, just very quickly, what are you hearing about any other potential floor crossers?
I am hearing that Liberals are targeting more, and I anticipate that there likely will be at least one more coming up, Omar.
All right, I know you're tracking that. Vashi Capellos, thank you so much for this tonight. And with just 5 weeks to go before federal New Democrats elect their next leader, the 5 candidates will take part in the second and final debate in BC tomorrow night. CTV's Rachel Aiello is in the Vancouver suburb of New Westminster tonight with a preview and what's at stake.
I'm just outside Vancouver in a riding that the NDP lost to the Liberals in the last election. And it's here that the 5 candidates vying to be the next leader of the federal New Democrats will face off on Thursday. The NDP leadership race is nearing the finish line, but the campaign has struggled to capture Canadians' attention. It's been a tight competition with no obvious frontrunner. And that's why party insiders say the candidates' debate performances could be crucial.
Thursday night's debate is the last moment, really, for widespread persuasion. Voting begins on March 9th. That is when the GOTV voter turnout begins. And I think that this is the moment that a candidate could break through.
The 5 hopefuls who will be on stage and on the ballot are documentary filmmaker Avi Lewis, who has taken clear aim at Canada's wealthiest. MP Heather McPherson, who is pitching herself as having the experience needed to rebuild. Dock worker Rob Ashton, who is targeting the pro-union working class ranks. The first Indigenous leadership candidate, Tennille Johnston, who is pitching a series of social policies. And organic farmer Tony McQuail, whose underdog campaign has focused on environmental and electoral reform. The race will culminate at the NDP's national convention in Winnipeg next month. The vote is being conducted using a ranked ballot, and the winner will be announced on March 29th. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, New Westminster, BC.
Big moments for Canada on day 12 of the Olympics in Italy, starting with a gold medal on the ice. Stephen Dubois won the men's 500-meter short track. The Quebec skater got the lead early and held on for the victory, and Canada's 4th gold of these games. And the team of Danae Blais, Florence Brunel, Kim Boutin, and Courtney Sereau won bronze in the women's 3,000-meter short track relay. For Sereau, it's her 4th medal of the games. And a nail-biter for Canada's men's hockey team, who edged Czechia with a comeback victory in overtime in the quarterfinals. Mitch Marner scored the game winner. The Canadian team fell behind late in the 3rd period, but managed to tie it up before the big win that sends Canada into the semifinals and sent Canadian fans into the streets of Milan.
Let's go, Canada! Everybody threw their beers in the air and celebrated with joy, so it was really cool to see.
It was stressful, but we never gave up. We believed.
You could feel that everyone was super nervous, but also really weirdly, I feel like we all kind of knew that Canada was going to pull it out.
A win, but also the loss of captain Sidney Crosby, who left the game with what's being described as a lower body injury. Not clear yet if he'll be able to play Friday against Finland. And tomorrow, Canada's women's hockey team will play for gold. They will go up against their arch rivals, Team USA. Well, the competition to find the perfect home may not be as intense as it once was, and a new snapshot reaffirmed that today. But go beyond the headline, and the challenges are clear. CTV's Heather Wright explains.
That January snowstorm that buried parts of southern Ontario in as much as 60 centimeters of snow and left many roads impassable for days is now being blamed for more than just messy driving.
The first day we had one party.
Alan Nasseri is a real estate broker and says a typical open house usually has about 10 interested parties. But last month, some were virtually empty. He says the weather played a role in the slow month, but so too did economic uncertainty.
There are way less buyers in the market as that confidence in the market, at least based on our observation, is not there at this time.
Winter storms compounded an already cooling real estate sector as home sales across Canada fell to multi-year lows last month, according to the Canadian Real Estate Association.
The national numbers were definitely impacted in January by that big storm that came up through southwestern Ontario and the entire GTA.
Home sales were down more than 16% in January compared to the year before and down nearly 6% compared to December sales. Despite lower interest rates and falling home prices, houses are still expensive in many markets. And while new listings rose, there is a lack of inventory when it comes to what many buyers actually want.
Housing stock and what's available in the market is a lot of very expensive detached homes and a lot of small condos, and not a lot of sort of family-friendly, affordable middle stuff.
While Korea expects the market will pick up at some point this year, economists say the extent of any rebound won't be clear until at least the spring. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
South of the border, the deadliest avalanche in California's history claimed the lives of 8 experienced backcountry skiers. 1 is still missing. The group of 15 out with professional guides near Lake Tahoe was buried under a massive avalanche the size of a football field. Rescuers fought through treacherous weather and frantically found 6 people alive.
Someone saw the avalanche, yelled avalanche, and then it overtook them.
This is devastating. It affects us all.
In Oklahoma, a wall of fire sparked a state of emergency and urgent evacuations. Fast-moving wildfires burned across more than 60,000 hectares. The flames, fanned by extreme winds, destroyed homes, farmland, and threatened livestock. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg was in the hot seat inside an LA courtroom today for an unprecedented social media trial.
Mr. Zuckerberg, did Meta purposely design the platform to harm children?
Zuckerberg's company faces allegations its platforms are deliberately addictive to children, causing them harm. The plaintiff is a now 20-year-old woman who says her addiction to technology increased her depression and led to suicidal thoughts. Meta and YouTube, which is owned by Google, are the remaining defendants after TikTok and Snap settled out of court. And back in Ottawa, a group of young people from Alberta spoke out on Parliament Hill today, demanding stronger online protections and a bigger voice in shaping Canada's digital rules. CTV's Abigail Beeman explains.
1, 2, 3, to you! Among this group of young people on Parliament Hill, Jordan Varney says online bullying from a young age actually changed her personality.
My light kind of dimmed, you could say. Like the spark that you have as a child where you're happy and you want to do all these things and you have these dreams, these kind of cruel areas can really diminish people's light.
Worried about the mental health of youth, including younger siblings, she hopes the government will create policy that incorporates diverse youth perspectives and, along with cohorts, is offering up this detailed blueprint on digital rights to help.
Digital spaces are human rights environments.
Youth are calling for clear federal action, which include a national youth digital safety advisory council with real decision-making, a statutory duty of care requiring platforms to assess and prevent harm.
Since France and Australia introduced social media bans for young people, there's been speculation as to whether Canada will do the same. Ottawa has promised a new online harms bill is coming. This group says bans police rather than protect, with adults telling youth to just be careful.
If anything does happen in an online space, it's our own fault.
They want to see a safety net instead, with improved reporting systems.
We're ready to work. The question is whether the government is ready to meet us with the same courage, humility, and urgency.
A spokesperson for the relevant minister's office tells CTV News they are aware of the recommendations and the government, quote, intends to act to better protect Canadians, especially children, from online harm, but did not offer any specifics nor a timeline for a new online harms bill. Omar?
All right, Abigail, thanks. Coming up, which destination is experiencing a steep drop in demand and what it means for your flight plans? Plus, the not-so-sweet backlash towards Hershey from the family who invented the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. The grandson of the inventor of Reese's Peanut Butter Cups is speaking out, saying they taste different. Brad Reese is accusing Hershey of quietly replacing milk chocolate and peanut butter with compound coatings and peanut butter-style cream in multiple Reese's products. In a statement, Hershey says it sometimes makes product recipe adjustments, but the Butter Cups are made the same way they have always been. But things are changing fast in the airline industry. Falling demand for U.S. flights is forcing major Canadian carriers like Air Transat and WestJet to pivot. Here's CTV's Alex Carpa on how it could change your travel plans.
Yeah, this is myself with my daughter when she was going to school just outside of Pittsburgh.
Mike Gebhardt is a frequent traveler to the United States.
Well, on average, I would probably travel 3, 4, maybe 5.
His daughter lives in Alabama, but visiting her sometimes is not easy.
I do fly out of Saskatchewan most of the time, so it is a bit of a challenge. Leave early in the morning, come back late at night.
But traveling could get a little more chaotic for passengers like Gebhardt. WestJet and Air Transat recently slashed several routes from Canada to U.S. cities.
It's something to always be aware of.
Statistics Canada data last month showed that Canadians continue to take fewer trips to the U.S. in November 2025. Travel agent Daryl Silver says passengers shouldn't be worried about this shift.
Yes, could there be more problems now? I suppose, but in general, I don't think that that's significant if that is happening.
A few travel experts we spoke to say passenger demand to the U.S. from Canada is down and say it's no surprise that airlines like WestJet and Air Transat are reducing these routes.
It's one of those things where they feel they can focus on domestic, where they excel, especially on the West Coast, and become more profitable. It's good for them.
John Graddick says the reduction is consumer driven.
Not driven by the weather, not driven by anything else. Consumers have decided that they'd rather spend their leisure travel dollars on flights other than the USA, and they're reacting to that.
Meanwhile, Porter Airlines announcing it's adding routes to the U.S., saying travelers want more options. As for Gebhardt, he says he'll continue traveling to the U.S. to see his daughter, but when it comes to vacationing south of the border, he admits he's thinking twice, especially as flight options are reduced. Alex Carpa, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Still ahead, the Blue Jays are back in Florida. Why this American city hopes their fans will come too. The Toronto Blue Jays are in Dunedin, Florida for spring training with the first game set for Saturday. Some of the team's fans are also flocking south, which, as CTV's Sean Leathong reports, the locals are appreciating ever since the tensions between Canada and the U.S. have impacted tourism numbers.
Mardi Gras in Dunedin, Florida. The small town of 38,000 celebrating, and while the beads are flying, the parade passes by TD Park. And it isn't hard to find Blue Jays fans.
What do the Jays mean to Dunedin?
A lot. You're the best.
We love the Jays. This is Blue Jay country down here.
Bowser's, located just up the road from the ballpark, styles themselves as a Blue Jays bar.
It puts Bowser's on the map.
And while Mardi Gras brings out the crowds, owner Janet Bostert has noticed something different about Canadian visitors.
A lot of our Canadians, I call them our Canadians, that come down to visit us, they're not staying as long.
While support for the Blue Jays can be seen on the homes and in the shop windows of Dunedin, a recent report from visitflorida.org shows 15% fewer Canadians came to Florida through the first 3 quarters of 2025. So what's happening here?
You know, they're family to us, so we don't feel it in that way.
The Blue Jays have been in Dunedin for their entire 50-year history, the only major league team to do so. Local Mayor Mo Freeney says the team adds an estimated $200 million to the area economy. And this year, Jays ticket sales are up.
When the season's on, you know, everybody's walking around town and filling the restaurants and shopping in the shops.
Even inside Blue Jays spring training, as fans gather from Toronto and elsewhere, the players feel the warmth from this community.
Just driving through and seeing everyone's kind of the Vladdy's face and George's face, not my face, but everyone else's face up on the board. It's awesome, and you know, walking downtown, it's such a great town to kind of walk and see all the Blue Jays fans out there.
When you get closer to the ballpark, you see all the Blue Jays and all the Blue Jays logo, and the people feels really familiar with the team, and we obviously feel that.
Helping the players feel a bit of the support they get at home while they prepare for the season. And
it's a lot warmer than Canada right now, I'll tell you that.
Vice President of Florida Operations for the Blue Jays, Shelby Nelson, says Blue Jays fandom here lasts longer than the spring.
It's really, really strong. I mean, we had some watch parties during the World Series and they were packed.
The club opened up TD Ballpark during the playoffs, hosting 10 watch parties through the World Series. And this past Saturday, they welcomed the Jays back with their annual golf cart parade.
So we're going to be rooting them on. We want it all.
a partnership rooted in support for the team and each other. In Dunedin, Sean Leathong, CTV News.
Well, from Florida to New York, where police officers sprang into action to rescue an injured bald eagle from the icy Hudson River.
His claw's bleeding, too.
The eagle was spotted crying out before police arrived on the scene. The body cam video shows NYPD officers rescuing the bird from the river. It was then safely removed and taken to an animal sanctuary in New Jersey. And a surprise four-legged competitor ran onto the cross-country ski course in the middle of a race at the Olympics. The husky was cheered on by fans. Cameras captured the dog crossing the finish line, and while it didn't reach the podium, it did appear to have the time of its life. A gold medal appearance. And still ahead, after the break, back to Milan Cortina, where we pay another visit to the husband and wife doctor duo keeping Canada's Olympians healthy. And we leave you tonight with a checkup on a married couple on an extraordinary work trip. They are the lead physicians behind Canada's men's and women's hockey teams at the Olympics. CTV's Heather Butts on how they are supporting the teams and each other.
This Calgary couple hasn't spent much time together in Italy, and they're perfectly okay with that. This trip is about the two doctors supporting Canadian athletes.
It's a privilege. It's an honor. It's great that they put their trust in us to do the jobs.
Ian Auld is the lead physician for the men's hockey team. His wife, Laura Benyon, the lead physician for the women's team. They've both spent decades working with professional athletes, but this is their first time joining Team Canada at the Olympics.
The women's team has a special culture, and I really appreciate that. It's made the whole experience really rewarding and valuable.
An experience they take to heart as an integral part of Team Canada.
There's a lot of pride with representing Canada, for sure.
Although we're not on the ice and we know we're a support for the athletes, and we do the best that we can for them.
207 athletes are representing Canada at these games, backed by a team of more than 230 coaches and support staff, all who face unique challenges.
Right off the bat, we got hit with noro. Our team didn't get hit with norovirus, but our first opponent, Finland, couldn't play. So right away, we're rescheduling a game at the Olympics, which is unheard of, and having to figure out what our own risk is as a team.
Relying on their medical backgrounds and each other to help keep everyone in the game.
We've been leaning on each other for questions and issues and bouncing things off each other. We both, I think, bring different, skill sets into this job.
Auld was part of the Four Nations win, but says the pressure here is more intense. This is the Olympics.
You can see it in our players. This is a big one for them. This is what they've been dreaming of for a long time.
As the doctors focus their time and energy on athletes, they too have a team behind them with their daughter and family members here in Italy to support them. Heather Butts, CTV News, Milan, Italy.
It's great that they're together. That's a snapshot of this Wednesday for all of us at CTV National News. Thank you for watching. Good night and see you tomorrow.